St. Lucia has been the biggest economy of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union for years now.
Now, over the past 5 years, St. Lucia has contributed roughly 1/3 of the region's output. At the end of 2023, their contribution was 26.5%. We project that the economy of St. Lucia would be on a positive track for the remainder of 2024 into 2025. Underpinning the growth trajectory would be the rebounding of the tourism industry, as well as the slate of construction, public construction and private construction activities.
Unfortunately, there are several major obstacles in the way of the island achieving the goal of doubling its economic output over the next 10 years.
One downside risk as it relates to public infrastructure would be the implementation rate or ability, capacity of the government. Nonetheless, we expect that activity in the tourism industry as well as the construction industry to filter down into other sectors such as the transport and storage, manufacturing and agricultural sectors, all working to achieve this goal.
The island has welcomed over 1 million visitors so far this year, a number comparable to what it was like before COVID-19 put the industry on pause. The Americans are back, although regional visitor numbers are still catching up. Entrance in the regional aviation sector should help boost those numbers. Meanwhile, inflation isn't going down, but it is slowing down.
Inflation slows in St. Lucia over the past 3 years, specifically around 2022. Inflation would have spiked, but what we are noticing, as the data is showing, that inflation is slowing in St. Lucia. Albeit the prices are still high, the inflation rate has slowed down.
Another major obstacle is that the St. Lucia government, like most others, continues to spend more than it has.
The government continues to run persistently large fiscal deficits. What is driving these fiscal deficits? We note increased debt service payments. So the government would have borrowed heavily during the period 2020 and 2021 to address for COVID, the fallout from COVID, to address investing in capital projects and for budget support. And as you increase debt, you increase the cost of servicing those debt. We look at as well as the increase in social assistance. Around 2022, the government would have put on the fuel subsidy program, as well as the increase in expenditure on goods and services, partly due to higher prices.
It sounds bad, but it is something that St. Lucia is trying hard to work its way out of.
However, we predict that the government's fiscal deficit could be lowered to 66 million at the end of 2024. This is what we're seeing here. And this would be an improvement relative to the last 6 years. So how could this be possible? We are proposing that the government bolster its tax administration initiatives, including increasing tax compliance, as well as to leverage the current tax amnesty program, and also to revisit and revise social initiatives now that the economy is on an upward trajectory and the labor conditions are improving.
Less and less people need the government to spend money assisting them because more and more of them have jobs. That reverses the flow of money between the government and the people, leaving people with more jobs and the government with more tax revenue.
Revenue collections are strong. Total revenue collection at the end of 2023 has surpassed 2019 levels, and the heels of an increasing economy, allowing for increased VAT collections, recovery in the labor market, allowing for increased personal income tax collections, as well as increase in corporate income tax, as businesses have generally weathered the storm and their performances are on the upward trajectory.
This also leaves the government in a better position to source financing, in other words, to borrow money.
Government's public debt has increased over the past 8 years on average by 6.6%. That's what this left chart is showing, specifically during the period 2020 and 2021 as a result of debts contracted around that period.
With good fiscal and economic management in place, all that remains now is for St. Lucians to realize they are on the verge of an economic boom and for them to take advantage of the widest variety of opportunities that have ever been available to any generation in the history of this country. For Choice News Now, I'm Jason Seaflay.